What's up, everyone? Welcome to Basement Radio Arcade. This is Enrique, aka Aries, the Aries Gamer, and I'm joined again by my man, the Penguins fan, Lemieux66. Lemieux, what's going on, man?
What's up? I love that introduction.
Well, you are a Pens fan,
I am.
unfortunately.
Bleeding black and gold.
Oh boy, now you just took it too far.
Oh
Yeah, yeah. How's good old chemotherapy doing?
my god.
For those of you who don't know, that's a reference to Mario Lemieux. But anyhow, um, so for those of you who are listening to us or going to listen to this later on, thanks for joining us again. I decided to redo podcast number 2 because of the issues we had earlier in the week, where we got disconnected, and then we had to, um, do like a part 1, part 2. And so, Lemieux was kind enough to join me today on his Saturday, his day off, where normally he'd be doing garden work, playing flowers and stuff, do the podcast. So thanks again, man. I appreciate it, Lemieux.
No problem, man. I like to plant flowers because it brings all the ladies to the yard.
Is that your secret?
Yeah, as a secret sauce.
Yeah. You tell them to come over and look at your bush.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You have any banana trees growing? Anyways, so so we're gonna start. Happy N7 Day, by the way, guys. For those you don't know, today's N7 Day, and there was a teaser trailer released for Mass Effect. I believe, Lemieux, you said you didn't see it, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. You said N7 Day because I could really care less. But no, I don't care about Mass Effect. I don't know. No, I didn't see it, but I know it's a huge franchise and people are excited for it. I know a lot of people are even hoping, for them to re-release the first few games. As far as the remastered edition, but we'll see what happens as far as the N7 and all that hype.
Yeah, that was a great trilogy, last console generation. I mean, that was my favorite. I mean, having Martin Sheen in Mass Effect 2, I mean, that was ridiculous. That was a highlight for me. But anyhow, so if you didn't check out the for all you gamers out there, if you guys didn't check out the Mass Effect trailer, definitely check it out. Just a quick teaser trailer. I'm not going to spoil it, but you can definitely catch it on the web now. It's been linked pretty much all over social media, and you can obviously Google it too. So, all right, so we're going to talk about Halo 5. The game came out last week, and there was for the most part the reviews were good. I mean, if you follow Metacritic, I think it's at trending at 85 overall Metacritic, which is good. I mean, it's still a good game, a good score, if you will, if you're into looking at gaming scores. In Lemieux, we talked about this game and the marketing behind it, and the story and everything. Early in the week when we originally did podcast number 2. But why don't we talk about the marketing? Because that's something that some people have been talking about a lot with this particular game. Some people have said that perhaps the marketing was a little deceptive with giving us this idea that there was just going to be this epic or big showdown between Spartan Locke and Master Chief, right? We all remember that famous trailer where Spartan Locke is walking and he's kind of hovering over with a gun pointed at Master Chief, who is down on the ground, appearing injured. And then we have the same trailer, but with Master Chief walking and hovering over Spartan Locke. So we kind of had this idea that there was going to be this epic clash, and that that Spartan Locke was hunting Master Chief. And then we played the game, and that's not necessarily what really happened in the game. So some people feel like perhaps this was not entirely truthful on 343i's part or Microsoft's part and the marketing team behind the game. I don't. I think obviously the marketing really didn't coincide 100% with what was in the game, but I'm not someone who's going to. Frankly, if you would ask me my opinion, I kind of don't care. I'm not going to burn Microsoft the steak for it. So, what are your thoughts, Lemieux?
It was definitely misleading. Am I upset about it? No, not really. I thought Halo 5 was a phenomenal game. I'm actually going through my second playthrough right now on Heroic. I finished it the first time on regular.
So you're going,
Something like that. And sorry, go ahead.
yeah. So you're playing it through the second time.
Yeah, I'm doing the campaign
Nice.
through the second time. I really enjoyed it. Besides the story being all over the place
Yeah.
and not really, what I thought I was going to be going into as far as the epic battles between Chief and Locke, but I'm enjoying it. And I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the next Halo game? We might see those scenes where Chief is down and Locke's ring, or vice versa. You never know.
Yeah. Well, um, and I'll just say, spoiler alert for you guys who haven't played the game just yet. I'm going to talk about a certain scene in the game, and you're probably, if you're guessing them, you probably know what I'm about to talk about. But I wanted to say spoiler unless anyone, somebody. Um, there is a scene in the game where they actually kind of, uh, you know, f- get into a fight, if you will. And I think that's towards almost the end of the game, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's closer to the end. I think there's 15 levels. It's probably after 10 or so. It's closer to the end.
Yeah, I actually thought that was really cool. I know, I no doubt who's going to win the fight, though.
Right. I thought it was pretty cool when Locke breaks Chief's visor. He cracks it a little bit. That was pretty cool. It was definitely
Yeah.
an awesome, nice little cutscene. But I wish something like that was also interactive.
Yeah. No, like little QTE action, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but then I was thinking like that would be that would be kind of a new uh something new to the game. I mean, the game's never had QTE,
Yeah,
But
it would have
yeah,
been
I was kind
definitely
of
new.
thinking the same thing. Like it would have been cool if you could have like hit some buttons to kind of get some combos off on Spartan Lock.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So if you read some of the reviews, a point of contention, and I actually talk about this. I did a quick final impressions video last night on Halo 5. Kind of gave my impressions of the overall game and the story, and a point of contention for some of the reviewers again has been the story. In this particular version of Halo, you meet Spartan Locke, you meet his fire team Osiris. Obviously, everyone knows who Master Chief is. Everyone knows who Cortana is, and we meet Blue Team. And so this is the first time that we're really kind of seeing Blue Team in action with Master Chief. And I think this is where maybe 343i could have expanded or fleshed out the story a little bit more, to kind of give a little more background, a little more familiarity with Fire Team Osiris and Blue Team, and Spartan Locke as well. Because we really don't know too much about Spartan Locke or Fire Team Osiris. But if you've kind of kept up with, if you read any of the books or familiar with Halo lore, let me. Have you read any of the books or anything?
No, I have not read any of the books. I don't really know much of the story besides the games I've played.
Gotcha. Okay. So with with Blue Team and Master Chief, they go way back, right? I mean, they go back as they like together as children. And if you're familiar with the story of the Spartan program, Master Chief, at the age of 6, I believe it was him, and there was 74. It was 74 children total that were part of the Spartan program, and these children were actually kidnapped from their houses, and they were actually cloned. Their likeness was cloned so that their parents, society, family members wouldn't know that that they had been taken. And these clones were like real life people. They grew up, they lived, they died. So here are these 74 kids. Master Chief is part of these 74 kids. Blue Team members are part of this group of kids, and they form this this bond. And a lot of their combat A lot of the history with Blue Team and Master Chief actually happens way before the first Halo Combat Evolved game that came out. So there's a lot of history there. And I think there's even a point in the game too where I think someone in Fireteam Osiris, is asking the question, if Master Chief is AWOL and he's disobeying orders, why are they following him? And the response was, well, they're like family. And it's true, they're very much like family. If you think about the dynamic of children growing up together, being taken away from their homes, and all they have is each other, and then they're in combat missions together at a young age. Obviously, there's a strong bond there. But a lot of this none of it's really talked about in the game, and maybe that was an opportunity where they could have, expanded or maybe fleshed out the story.
Yeah, from what you just said a few minutes ago about them being clones of their true selves and being taken and at a young age and trained to be soldiers, I didn't even know that much, and it sounds like a pretty cool story. And I wish I could know some more of that while playing these games, because I'm not really a reader. I'm not going to go out and read anything about Halo. I like to play the games.
Yeah.
And if Halo 5 would have had a little bit more backstory as far as Locke and Blue Team and Osiris, I think that would have benefited a lot.
Yeah, no, I agree, and we really don't even know anything really about Locke or Osiris, which would have been nice, right?
Yeah.
Especially because in the game you're playing him more than you are Chief, which is a first in the series.
Yeah,
So
most of it was Locke. It was.
yeah. So let me. He's basically like pretty much the main character
He
in this
is.
game, at least.
He is, and I've heard a few rumors on different podcasts saying that maybe this is the start of Locke being his own character for his own style of Halo games, separate from Master Chief.
Yeah, and I could totally see that. And we talked about this when we in our last unsuccessful podcast. We talked about that that could happen, and that this it could be very well a kind of turning point for the franchise where Aaron Greenberg even mentioned that the Halo universe is this big universe, and I think he kind of related to Star Wars. And if you've read the books, if you're familiar with the Halo lore, it's a massive universe that has a lot of history. So my thoughts are that the game is actually this particular game is actually a turning point or a pivotal point for the franchise, where they're going to kind of branch out and kind of start building off of the universe.
I wonder if the games we have. I wonder if from this point going forward, they're all going to be based on squad based. Like, is it all going to be Chief with 3 or 4 other people with him, or are they going to ever go back to just Chief on the missions by himself?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I wonder if they're going to go back to just him or if it's going to be squad based. I'd like to see both. I wouldn't want to see just squad based.
Yeah, if they're going to continue with the squad base, they still need to work on the AI, because the AI, especially when you let your other squad mates drive the Warthog or whatever, it's just atrocious. They don't know what they're doing.
Well, yeah, the AI is it's AI. Were they driving into like enemy fire?
They were driving into enemy fire, and they were driving constantly into boulders and buildings and
Yeah.
anything but the path.
Yeah, that happened to me a couple times. I was like, I'm not getting in a Warthog with these guys because they can't drive. They're like drunk drivers. But yeah, I agree with you, Lee. I'd like to see kind of a combination of the two, where we see squad base and then single player.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So what do you think? You think the next Halo? You think it's gonna be focused on Spartan Locke, or is it gonna go back to Chief? You think?
Um, I think it's going to be more evened out. I don't think it'll be focused on either of them.
Yeah, I think you're right, and that's obviously based on the ending of the game too. What we saw.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think of the ending, by the way?
Um, I didn't think it was as drastic or cliffhanging as the end of Halo 2. I wasn't really, annoyed by it like I was at the end of Halo 2, but I mean, I'm looking forward to the next one for sure.
Yeah, it definitely left me wanting more.
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed that I felt like it abruptly ended, but it definitely left me wanting more.
Which
Where
is a good thing, I
I'm
guess.
really excited for Halo 6 now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, um, and then with the multiplayer, um, have you? I know we talked about this when we tried to do this podcast previously. Warzone was something that we were talking about, and I played some Warzone last night, Lemieux, and let me tell you something, man. I love it.
Yeah, it's different, right? It's real cool.
Oh man, it's
Very
the
different.
tits. It is the tits. I'm
Yeah,
telling you, this
there's
shit
so many
is.
different things. You can do so much.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I was getting a little cocky, and then I started getting owned. Because I thought I was getting surgical with a pistol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some guy came over teabagged me. I'm like, really? People still do that? That's still a thing in first person shooters?
Sadly, yes, it is.
Oh boy, are you teabagging people?
No, and even if I did have the chance to, I would not.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
It's
Actually,
embarrassing.
I might if someone did it to me and I killed them. I'd probably do it.
Oh boy.
I know, right? Anyhow, so Warzone's great. I mean, it's definitely addicting. I could see how people would really like it. It's definitely, I think, more inviting than Arena. Arena's very, to me, that's like old school competitive Halo. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's very, true to the franchise. It's Halo. It's grenades everywhere. It's down the corridor. It's Twitch shooting at its finest. As far as the Warzone goes, it's more. I mean, it's still competitive, but it's also more casual. You can go in and just call in a few vehicles and drive people from base to base. You don't have to be awesome at the shooting to be able to get points and help your team win.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's nice about it. Like you said, it's a little more casual. You don't have to have you know, a, a 3.0 KDR. You don't have to, lead your team in headshots. You can just do other things to kind of gain points that contributes to the overall victory of the team. So I like that. It's definitely very inviting. It's a lot of fun. You can play kind of to your style, the way you want to play, which is kind of what I was doing last night. I play more, you know, I guess, eh, in I guess in a competitive type way, for KDR and stuff.
Hmm.
So, but you don't have to do that, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice change of pace for the franchise going forward.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very popular, and they're bringing. I mean, I know some people were bummed out about Big Team Battle not being there. That's something that's coming, later on. Is that coming out later this month?
It's coming soon. I don't know when, but I heard it's coming sooner than later, which is something to look forward to.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, well that's cool. Let me ask you something. Did you miss not having split screen?
No.
Yeah, people need to get over that shit. I didn't think it. I mean, all the fuss about it. Oh my God, we're not going to have split screen. Oh, it's the end of the world. You know. Oh, I sound like Ronald Reagan.
Oh my god.
Well, well, Nancy, there's no split screen in Halo. I mean, that actually sounds like Dick Nixon now. But it's like Jesus, it's not that big of a deal. I didn't think it was a big deal, especially now with the fact that most people now for a game like that are going to be on Xbox Live playing it, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure there's some people that, you know, were always playing, split screen, but I mean, you gotta things change and you gotta have to move forward with the technology.
You.
Yes.
All right. Something happened there. I heard robot noises. You have to
It's
repeat
the
what you said.
Yeah, it's the androids coming for me. I was just saying, I'm sure there's some people that love the co-op, the split screen experience.
Yeah.
And I respect that, but at the same time, you gotta move on with the times.
Yeah. I mean, it should, it's I don't understand that mentality of because something's been a staple, it needs to continue to be a staple. I mean, things need to evolve. Should we not have voice chat then because we didn't have voice chat back then? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I didn't think it was a big deal. I thought it was a little bit people just being picky and overreacting. Um, but let me ask you something. So how would you rate this game? I mean, if you stack it up against all the other Halo games you've played.
As far as the multiplayer, it's the best one yet. Because I think
Wow.
Warzone, because of Warzone, I think makes it king of all the Halos.
Wow. Let me tell you
Um,
something. That's big. That's that's something that's big to say. And I did read some other reviews that said that it's probably the best multiplayer experience or multiplayer in any Halo, which is telling because to me I started playing Halo online through Xbox Connect on the first Combat Evolved and playing Blood Gulch. I mean, obviously things weren't sophisticated then. We didn't have Xbox Live. But Blood Gulch, Hang 'em High, those maps were just, classics for me.
mhm.
And Halo 2, remember when Halo 2 came out on Xbox Live? That was awesome. So that's cool that you think that, though. I mean, that's awesome. To me, and I haven't played enough of the multiplayer yet to say that I think Halo 5 is better. I do love Warzone, but I think the Halo 2 multiplayer is my favorite so far.
I can hear what you're saying. The only thing that makes me change my mind about Halo 2 is when the Master Chief Collection came out, and I went back and played Halo 2 online. It felt slower than a snail.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it did. And that's actually a great point, Lemieux, because this game's running at 60 frames a second, right? Which is
Yes,
phenomenal for first person shooters, by the way. Um, but you're right. This game moves a lot faster without really compromising, the feel of Halo. You know what I mean?
exactly.
So that's a great point. I didn't even think about that. You're right, because when I went back and played, what was it, Beaver Creek?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have an ex-girlfriend called Beaver Creek, but that's another story.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, Libby.
Jesus.
So, uh, anyhow, she used to get a lot of hand grenades tossed at her. But I was playing Beaver Creek. I remember it did feel slow. You couldn't like really move fast, and you're so used to playing these switch shooters like the Call of Duties and stuff, you know. And you go and you play these old Halo 2 multiplayer games, and you're right. It does feel a little dated.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I enjoyed the game, Lemieux. I really liked it a lot. I wouldn't say it was my favorite Halo game, but I did very much enjoy it. And I think if you just look at the game by itself, as a standalone game, it's a solid game. The combat's awesome. Even the squad based fighting is still, even though there's some issues with the AI driving you into canyons or whatever you said, or enemy AI. Uh, even the team based combat's still pretty good.
Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely
Yeah,
one of my favorite games so far.
yeah. Well, it's definitely a must have. If you own an Xbox One, you don't have this game, you should shoot yourself. It's a must buy.
Yep, yep,
I mean, seriously, it's a great game. I mean, you should definitely pick it up.
absolutely.
So we also got, I think was it this week, early this week, we got the news of Halo 5's week one sales.
Yes, it was earlier in the week, correct?
Oh boy, and people were flipping out about that. I'm
Of
telling
course
you,
they are,
man,
because it's the internet.
people are, what's fanboyism is hilarious, by the way. It's such flawed logic. It's so easy to pick apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, I know you're a huge fanboy.
not really.
Apple products.
I'm currently holding an Android,
Oh, never mind that.
but I have an iPad, so I go.
Oh.
I was gonna say I go both ways, but that doesn't sound too good. So.
Well, I could say, you know what? I could say something, but I'm not going to. It's something we were talking about earlier before the podcast.
Yeah, let's not say that.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do know you're talking about.
Oh my God. Oh, jeez. Okay. You can't say stuff like that, man. I really want to say something because I think it's so funny, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
So, um, so yeah, so Microsoft released the sales numbers for the Halo 5 launch. They said it was the biggest Halo launch, right?
Yeah, the biggest Halo launch in history. I can't remember. It was either 400 or 500 million dollars.
Four
It was 400.
400 million, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
But people are, all pissed off about it.
Well, but people being here's the thing that's funny. Um, when I'm and sometimes I try to avoid Twitter because there's a lot of cynicism, and I definitely avoid NeoGAF. That's a terrible place, by the way, terrible website. Um, but people are in there because for the first time Microsoft included hardware and software sales numbers together. They didn't break it up. They just said 400 million
Yeah.
for the Halo 5 franchise or game, which includes software, hardware, right?
Right.
Who cares if it's software and hardware combined? It's $400 million. $400 million is $400 million, right? I mean, I don't get I don't get why people are like, well, it didn't do well. It's terrible. It's this. It's that. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I wonder if people would still be acting like that um, if it was still Bungie behind the series instead of 343. But I don't know.
They probably would.
People just need to calm down and either play the game and like it or don't play it and shut the hell up.
But here's the thing: Halo isn't just software now. It's a brand.
Yeah, it's a huge franchise.
It's a brand now. It's like so 400 million, almost $500 million in 1 week. Most games, most AAA games, don't even do that in a week, right? And so my point is, people are kind of just focused on the wrong things. You should be, if you're a fan of gaming, if you're a fan of the gaming industry, you want to see franchises like this be successful, generate this kind of revenue, because this kind of revenue is good for the gaming industry.
Yeah, I mean, ever since the Xbox One and the PS4 came out, AAA titles aren't that common, like they used to be. It's a lot of indie titles, a lot of mid-tier products. I mean, when a AAA product comes out, if you want to see that on your system, if you don't own an Xbox, you want to see that succeed because it shows the people they're making the game, they're developing and producing the game, that those type of games are still going to bring in the money.
Exactly. Given how high or how how expensive development costs are these days,
Right.
and the risk associated with that, with putting out a game.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. If you're a champion of the industry, you're a fan of the industry, you want to see these kinds of numbers, regardless if you're a Microsoft fan or a Sony fan, whatever the case may be. If you're a fan of gaming, you want to see these things. So I thought this whole thing, people trying to, I was reading things of people saying, oh, it's PR spin. Who cares? It doesn't affect you. It's good for the industry. Move on.
It's asinine. People are just insane.
Yeah, it's like, who cares? I mean, shit. If Uncharted 4 came out and did 500 million, and it was, Uncharted 4 special edition consoles and software, I wouldn't care. No one would care. It's good. It's good for the industry.
Exactly.
Yep. I mean, so that's my rant, by the way. That's my rant. I just don't understand fanboys.
Rant of the week.
That's basement rant of the week, exactly. And then there was another. Looks like some people are speculating that the game sold 1.5 million or something its first week. So now people are saying that, and this came from a special website that I won't mention again. One that you probably frequent quite a bit, Lemieux.
No, I don't.
I'm just joking. I know you don't. Oh boy, my mind just went south. I'm not going to tell you what I was thinking about. Had to do something we were talking about earlier. Oh Jesus.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh Jesus. So there's speculation out there now, and people are like, oh well, it's The franchise is in decline, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, oh boy, this is just crazy. You know, it's so funny. It's one thing that I've seen this console generation is everyone's an industry analyst now.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, they are.
You know, everyone's Michael Patcher. Is that his name?
Pactor. The Pack Attack.
Is that who? Is it not? Is it Pactor or Patcher?
It's Pactor.
Michael. So everyone's him now, right? And he doesn't even get it right.
No, he does sometimes. I don't know why his name is so associated with video games, because he's not, Mr. Crystal Ball or anything.
No, he's not. He strikes me as someone who likes a nice glass of scotch.
Yeah, it could be.
Nice stogie, little glass of scotch. Anyhow. So, regardless, though, that's still great. I mean, that's great for the franchise. That's a lot of money to bring in. I think that's great news for the gaming, the console industry, that a big AAA, big budget title like that was able to generate that kind of revenue in a week span. I mean, that's a lot of money to generate in a week. And
yeah,
we're not even the holidays yet.
No, I mean, it's going to be one of the biggest games over the holiday season for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Black Friday's coming, and Cyber Monday, and so yeah, I mean, this is just the beginning for that franchise, I think, in terms of sales numbers.
Yep, no doubt about it.
Yeah. So, all right, Lemieux. Well, I guess that's enough Halo talk for right now. Considering that I think we talked about this twice already. Okay. Hey, and you know what, man? So far, so good, right?
Yes. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. So good. Knock on wood. All right. So another game that's coming out. Actually, there's two big games coming out this week. We are going to see Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I think you said you're going to GameFly.
I will be GameFlying it, correct.
And somebody posted something on Twitter about the first couple of minutes of the game, saying that it was very emotional. That was great. I'm telling you, Lemieux, I think this is going to be a good one. I think Rise of Tomb Raider is going to be a good one.
I have no doubt it's going to be a good one.
Yeah. The question is...
The last one was good.
The last one was great. I mean, it was so nice, too, to see that franchise come back,
Yeah, because it was in the dumper for a while, and it's nice to see it come back, like you said, and regain its glory.
Yeah, and I just felt like the franchise got kind of hit a low point where it was like every new Laura or new Tomb Raider game, Lara Croft's assets got a little bit more, a little more. There's more emphasis placed on that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it just became cheesy like that.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see, Square Enix, Crystal Dynamics kind of revitalize that franchise, because it had been kind of like, it was just, yeah, like it kind of was in the toilet for a long time.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good for a while, but now it's back and it's really doing well.
Yeah, no, I that was one of my, if I think about action adventure games last console generation, obviously Uncharted is up there for me, which I'm replaying again, which I didn't think I would. And you know what, Lemieux, I didn't even think that I didn't think that going back and picking up the the Nathan Drake collection, that I'd actually enjoy it, again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still having fun playing it.
Nice.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. Blue Point Games did a great job with the remaster. It looks good.
Yeah, I heard it looks really good.
Yeah. So maybe we can do, I don't know, if you're interested, maybe we could do PlayStation Share or something and let you play it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Uh-oh, I got robot voice that time.
You got robot voice?
I think I did, yeah.
Last thing I heard was
I think it just happened.
Talking about PS Share.
Yeah, I was saying we could do PlayStation Share for Nathan Drake if you want.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, so that Rise of Tomb Raider comes out. Dude, my dilemma, man. I don't know. Do I get both on Tuesday? or do I
I
get
mean,
Rise of the Tomb Raider, beat that, and then get Fallout 4?
I don't know. I've never played a Fallout game before, but I have a feeling that if you start Fallout, you're not going to stop.
Let me just say something to you. I get made fun of for being the guy that buys strategy guides for those big RPGs. I bought a strategy guide for Fallout 3, and it was a freaking book.
Did you use it?
Yes, and it was great because I didn't have the time to kind of not have that as as a tool, to get me through the game.
Hmm.
And since you haven't played Fallout 3, well, are you getting the PlayStation 4 version, or the Xbox version?
Xbox One version.
Okay, so that's awesome. So you get a free copy of Fallout 3 with the Xbox version.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I chose Xbox.
Yeah, so Lemieux, geez, man, you're gonna be. We might not be able to get you back on the podcast.
No, might be a few years.
I think Fallout 4's got like 400 hours of gameplay if you do everything.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. I put about over 100 hours in The Witcher 3,
Wow.
and I expect to do the same with Fallout 4. I know I did with Fallout 3. I put over 100 hours in.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but it was great, man. It was a good game. You're gonna enjoy it. You're definitely gonna enjoy it. You really will. You know. So, um, so Fallout 4 is coming out, and with the release of that game, that's a big release. Some people are saying that's potentially game of the year. Got a lot of recognition at E3 this past year, and the last Fallout 3 was game of the year too. So again, people are thinking that this could potentially be the case with this version, and so obviously there's review copies out. There's been some leaks of the visuals of the game, and of course, people are freaking out, saying the game looks like a PS2 version of a game. I mean, it's like, geez, let me just say something. The game looks good. It does, and that's all I'll say about it. It looks good. No one needs to worry. It looks good.
I
You
mean,
know.
I'm not worried about it. I think it's gonna be great.
Well, you were saying that everything is pretty much interactive.
Yeah, I don't remember where I heard it, but somebody was saying that everything in the world is interactive. There's really no static backgrounds or environments. It's if you see a chair, you can touch and move the chair. If you see something on the desk, it's interactive. I mean, that's pretty crazy if you think about how big this world is.
Yeah, and that's if we think from a next current gen perspective versus last gen, I mean that's a lot. And obviously there's some give and take there. You know,
Right.
would you rather have this? And Bethesda Software is known for making those kinds of games. We go all the way back to when we had, the Elder Scrolls, Morrowind on. Remember the original Xbox?
Hmm.
God, that game was. I put so much time into that game too, man. But yeah, I mean, if you think about, and then you Skyrim and Fallout 3. I mean, so this is like that, but on steroids now. It sounds like.
Yeah. It's gonna be insane. I'm definitely looking forward to getting lost in the world. Like I said, I never played a Fallout game, so just a thought that everything in the environment is interactive. I mean, the amount of memory that you have to be running something like that is going to be pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's cool is that this version, the last one was in Washington D.C., which I thought was really cool. Um, Bethesda's actually in my backyard. Um, and they when the game came out, Fallout 3 came out. I was working downtown at the time in DC, and I remember seeing all these Fallout 3 banners inside the metro stations, the subway tunnels.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, they were doing a lot of marketing, and it was cool because the game took place in Washington D.C. So to see all this Fallout 3 marketing was really 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 cool. But yeah, I'm excited to be playing in Boston. Um, the Fenway Park's there, which is crazy considering the time frame that Fallout 4 takes place. You know,
Yeah, go visit the Green Monster.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you might run into David Ortiz.
Big Papa, Big Poppy.
Big Poppy.
That's right.
Big Poppy's. He's still going to be there. Oh boy. Oh man. So yeah. So everyone's kind of freaking out, Lemieux, and it just the cynicism sometimes kills me online. With people saying it looks like an old PlayStation 2 game. I've seen that comment. Um, People shouldn't worry. It's going to be a good game. And hey, it's locked 1080p, 30 frames a second.
Now, is it 60
What's that?
frames? Is it 60 frames a second on, the upper scales of a PC spec, or is it locked to 30?
PC, yeah. PC, I believe it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I wonder if PC, if it goes all the way to 4K on it. I don't know. I'm not a PC gamer, so.
Neither am I.
Yeah, I've thought about getting a rig, man.
I have no interest.
You don't have any interest?
No.
You don't want to drop like 2 Gs?
No, there's no reason to do that.
What about hey, you said that Die Hard's on the Steam box now, right?
Yeah, he doesn't really play his consoles anymore. He's all about the Steam box, PC.
So when did he make that switch? That's kind of new.
Yeah, he right after the 360 was done, he got a PC, and he has an Xbox One and a PS4, but he's never on. And if he is, he played Evolve for like literally a minute. He played Halo 5 for about 30 seconds, and that was about it.
Yeah. Hey, Lemieux, did you catch any of the any of Blizzard's BlizzCon 2015?
No.
Yeah, I didn't either. I just saw some of the news like Overwatch is coming to Xbox, PlayStation 4. I don't think I'll get that. I'll pass. And then I think there was. Did they release their first official Warcraft movie trailer? I think they did.
I think they did too. I'm not really sure since I'm not following that or don't really have any interest, but I believe you're right.
Yeah, you're not gonna see the movie.
No.
I bet you that shit's gonna be packed.
I would love to see the crowd walking into that show.
It's gonna be mad cosplaying, man.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie. I'll laugh at the first guy who's dressed up as a panda bear.
Oh boy.
Remember that expansion pack?
Yeah.
That might be Tilo.
It might be.
Hey, you know what? We gotta get the Hard Money crew, whatever, Midnight crew. We got. You know what? We should do a podcast with all those guys.
Let's do it. Hardcore Midnight Club Roundtable.
Dude, we should.
I'll reach out to Tilo and PGA.
Yeah, why don't you do that? Reach out to PGA, Tilo. Can you get a hold of Cookang's fan?
Yeah, I can send him a message.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I gotta get his PSN situation.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, give it to me because I got a friend of him on PSN, so I haven't talked to him in. I think I talked to him like right after the launch of the Xbox One, but I know you said he went back to PS4.
Yeah.
So. All right, Lemieux. Well, you know what, man? I think we've wrapped it up, man.
Excellent.
Unless you have anything else you want to talk about.
No, I'm good. The only thing else I would like to say is thanks again for the gracious host that you are and letting me come back on to talk video games.
Yeah, man. No, absolutely, man. I appreciate you, taking the time out of your busy day from, gardening and hollering at the ladies. Lemieux doesn't do that, by the way. He's happily married. I'm just joking. But yeah, man. No, thanks. I definitely appreciate it, man, and appreciate you putting together that banner for me too. That was awesome.
Sure, no problem. Happy to do it.
Oh shit! You know what we didn't talk about?
What's up?
Black Ops 3 came out.
Yes, it did. It's the first Call of Duty I haven't purchased ever in my life.
Yeah, I'm kind of over the franchise, to be honest with you, man. I'm tired out. You know what ruined it for me? That they were coming out with a Call of Duty every year.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It just, talk about like, to me, that's the epitome of just milking a cash cow.
Yeah,
And hey,
I mean,
I'm not mad at them. More power to Activision for doing it. They're making money.
yeah, I mean, Call of Duty won't get my money this year, and Assassin's Creed won't get my money this year.
Hey, but I'm thinking about backlogging Assassin's Creed Syndicate. It sounds like it's good.
It's gotten good reviews. I'll give it that much.
Yeah. No, it definitely has. But yeah, I played. Did you do the beta on PlayStation 4 for Black Ops 3?
Yeah, and I didn't care for it too much.
I didn't either. I thought it was cheesy. I did. I just didn't like it. I didn't care for it. All the stupid little hovercrafts and all that other gimmicky shit. I didn't care for it.
Yeah, I think if Call of Duty's gonna get my attention again, it needs to go back to World War II on these new consoles and see what they can do with that.
Those are great. I remember those on the 360.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe that franchise has seen better days. I mean, I think just releasing it every year is just kind of like overkill.
I agree. We'll see
You
what happens
know.
with the sales figures.
Oh, I'm sure it probably, you know, tops the charts. I mean, let's see something real quick. Actually, go to Amazon real quick. So Amazon bestsellers right now. Check this out, Lemieux.
What do you got?
Bestsellers on Amazon video games. Number 1, Fallout 4, PlayStation 4. 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Xbox One. 3, Fallout 4, Xbox One.
Oh, there you go.
Look at that. Call of Duty's number 5 on the PlayStation 4. That's interesting, man. It's interesting to see Call of Duty at number 2, right? For the Xbox One. And see it number 5 for the PlayStation 4 version. And Sony has the marketing deal.
Yeah, this is the first year that
Yeah.
Sony marketed and Sony gets the maps first and whatnot.
Yeah, and they have the customized console and everything, which I actually like, by the way. I'm one of the few.
Oh my
I know a lot of
God.
people don't like.
It's
You don't like
hideous.
it?
It's the console and the controller are one of the most hideous things I've ever seen in my life.
Okay. I'll give you the controller, the DualShock 4, and the orange thumbstick look like orange nipples.
Oh God.
But I love the design on the console. The Roman numeral 3 in orange. That's kind of
Well,
badass.
I'll pass.
The best PS4 customized console to me is Destiny, the white one. That one's
Oh, the
nice.
white one's beautiful.
Yeah, and the Batman one was pretty nice too.
Mhm.
Yeah, but no, it's interesting. I mean, so it's interesting to see that the Xbox One version is charting higher on Amazon than the PlayStation 4 version, and Sony has the marketing deal.
Yeah,
So
I wonder if Sony's pissed off about that so far.
who knows? I think a lot of it's when you've had a marketing deal for so many years, maybe by default people just associate that game with the Xbox regardless now.
True. Good point.
You know, I've I think if you go back and you look at first person shooters, I mean they've always sold better on the Microsoft platform anyway, right? On the Xbox.
Yes, they have.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I used to do another podcast, and that's something we talked about. We talked about the marketing. Would the marketing deal have an impact? I think it's gonna. I think the Star Wars marketing deal for Sony is going to pay huge dividends for them because of the timing of, the game, and then, the Force Awakens coming out in December.
Yeah, that's one that's probably going to be PlayStation based. That's one game that's probably going to be bigger than Call of Duty.
You think it's gonna be bigger than Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's DICE.
It is DICE, which can be dicey, but
DICE stands for dicey
Right.
servers.
But hopefully they got past those Battlefield 4 issues and we'll have a nice experience here in about a week.
Yeah, right. You know what? The next podcast we do, man, we got to talk about the recent trend of patches and stuff.
Oh God.
Yeah, is that annoying to you too?
Yeah. So far, when I hear the term, next gen gameplay or PS4 and Xbox One, it all comes with an asterisk that says patches galore.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it has to do with the rush to get games out on schedule and to not delay games, because when you delay a game, you're eating into what you've budgeted, which eats into your bottom line, and so that's kind of the partially, I think, the reasoning behind it. So, but yeah, we got to talk about that because I've seen that quite a bit this console generation. I feel like it's kind of like become the norm.
It has. We can definitely talk about that.
Yeah. So, all right, Lemieux. Well, hey, man, thanks again, man. I appreciate you, coming on board and, being part of Basement Radio Arcade and, talking games and, man, just shooting the shit with me, man.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Which is crazy. Who would have thought, man, 13 years ago when we met on Revolt on the Xbox Live Beta, we'd be doing a podcast?
I wouldn't have guessed it. And who knows what's going to be in the next 13 years.
we we might be developing a game in 13 years.
Either that or I'll be dead.
Yeah, from all the heartache and pain of the Pittsburgh Penguins choking in the playoffs.
Yep.
That's okay. The Caps haven't won anything, so.
I know.
We look good, though. You got to admit.
Yep. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, hey, thanks for joining our podcast. We try to make this short and sweet too for you guys. Hey, please, feel free to subscribe. We want to, grow this podcast too and get some more listeners so we can do some more things. So if you like what you're hearing, definitely give us a subscribe. Feel free to leave comments in the comment section below. Be more than happy to get back to you. Reply to some of your thoughts or questions. So other than that, Lemieux, man, thanks again. Another successful podcast, and this one actually worked. We didn't have any issues.
That's all that counts.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Gotta quit while you're ahead.
Exactly. We should probably wrap up because watch your shit crash.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Good night. So, all right, everyone. Well, thank you again for the 0 viewers that watched live. But to those of you in the future who will watch this podcast, thank you again. Remember to subscribe. And remember, to gamers, to game on and, more importantly, have fun. Thanks, guys.